Hey guys, what's up? Eddie Owon here with KissAnalog.com. Today, I got a package in the mail from Pico Technology. These guys have been super cool. They provide me that other oscilloscope, which really turned my head on these USB or computer-based oscilloscopes. You know, if you guys have heard me before, I never really thought a lot about them. Because the old days, the scopes I saw, they just weren't, really impressive to me. But then, that 8-bit vertical resolution that you get with most scopes, unless you spend thousands of dollars, it's hard to beat. I mean, I think you have to spend $5,000 to get, or you have to spend a lot of money to get past 8-bit, A to D resolution. So, these Picos have it. Now, the one I've been demonstrating is the 4444, okay? Has 4 inputs, they're all differential inputs, super cool scope. And I got that just because I didn't know they're going to give it to me. I got it because it's a very unique scope and it's great for power supply and audio design, which, I'm trying to do a lot of that kind of stuff. So I got that, but for general purpose, this 5444 scope I think is going to be a lot more useful for a lot of people. Now, I didn't get that big old plastic case with this one, okay? So, but I did get a scope. And it's super cool. I'm going to show you this, the digital form of this. It's a quick start guide. This book is nicely printed. It's color, it's easy to read, big print. A number of languages in here. There's not a lot of pages. It's just a quick start guide, which I'll show you. I'm going to show you this. This is a cool, I think this is neat. I'll show you a close-up of this, okay guys? Yeah, I don't know if you can see this very well, but this is just a neat thing. I'm going to show you on the computer. I think they have some pictures that would make it a lot easier to see this diagram. But this is kind of a cool thing, just have close to your bench if you're ever kind of curious about something on the display, you're not sure about how it works. That might be helpful when you first start off. But this is your oscilloscope. Okay, now oscilloscopes with screens on them, it's like a TV or anything else with the screen. You have another processor, GPU. I think that's a general processing unit, and that processes, there's probably other processors too, but anyway, you've got to drive that display, right? So you're spending money on not only just the display, like in the old days, the CRTs were super expensive, but even these days, not having to have that processing unit and that display using your laptop, you kind of save your money and put it towards what you're looking at for your signals, right? So, yeah, man. So this is a 4-channel, and they sent me one with the digital input, which is super cool. So this is a MSO scope. This is a mixed signal storage scope, which is funny because this is an MDO, mixed domain oscilloscope. Domain meaning frequency and time domain. I have a spectrum analyzer on that. But I have it on this too. But it's called an MSO. So it's kind of MSO, MDO. You're all in one scope. So with the MSO, basically, well, essentially, you get a logic analyzer built in. But we could call it MDO because you also get a spectrum analyzer built in, which a little bit nicer than just an FFT. So a lot better measurements than I've got on any other scopes I've looked at or reviewed yet, I think. So pretty darn cool. 4 channels, digital logic input, and it has a BNC for the arbitrary wave generator. So all that. I'm not sure what else is in this. Okay, pretty cool. There's a PicoScope bag. Alright, inside this, I've got another box here. And I'm just going to open it real quick and I'll bring you over here. But yeah, this is the MSO probe, I think 16 channels, and it has a whole bunch of these little clip-on these. Wow, that's pretty cool. So you can clip on the little pins on your digital chips. Okay, and I don't know what that is. Okay, your power cord, and it has a Euro connector, and yeah, it has a couple different, yeah, it's like the other one. It comes with, hopefully it comes with the US one. Oh yeah, there we go. Holy cow. Comes with a bunch of different connectors. So yeah, if you're traveling around, you got all your different connectors. Okay. This is a USB. This is a power one. This is pretty cool. So, okay. It's a nice quality. It just feels like one of those nice quality cables, you know, shielded. It's got the USB, you know, what do they call this one? The one with the extra port on it. So you get extra speed and all that. But, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you get 4 scope probes. Okay, we'll bring the camera over, show you this stuff. But so, by the way, this is the 200 meg scope version. So they go from 60, 100, and 200 meg, 2 channel, 4 channel, or with the MSO operation or option. So yeah, the little tip for your scope probe. These are switchable. And thank you. It has a nice, very positive click when you go times 1 times 10. I've got the probes, I think are ones with my signet. They just move pretty easily, so I always have to pay attention that they're in the right spot every time before I take a measurement. It's just too easy to move them. Anyway, TA386, 600 volt peak max. Again, has a nice fill to the cable, nice size probe. Yeah, these look like nice probes. So, okay, I'm going to bring the scope over, show you a close up of this stuff, and then I'm going to show you some waveforms on the scope, show you some documentation that comes with this. I just want to give you an overview of what comes with this scope and see if you like it. And you guys let me know what you wanted to see me do with it. If you wanted to see me demonstrate certain functions or that kind of thing. And alright, let's just jump into it. Alright guys, so just a close-up of everything that came with it. The 3 probes there. Here's the 4th one I've removed. So you get the 4 probes, and there's the grounding strap, the tip, and all the different colors you can put on your scope tips. So pretty nice, and again, nice solid clicking action. I like that. So very nice. And the adjustments on this end, on the scope end, TA386. Here's a manual that came out of that bag. And here's our USB type 2 or type 3, I think it is, B type. It has the extra power and extra speed I think you get out of this kind of cable. So I think that's another reason why it has that nice feel to it, because it's got the extra shielding and extra copper for the power. Okay. The logic part, okay, this is a 20-pin connector that fits in to the front of the scope right here. There's 16 yellow ones and 4 black ones kind of spaced across the connector. So 4 ground connections, okay? And then there's 2 bags. Each bag has 8 white ones and 4 black ones. Okay, so they just plug into the end of here. And these guys are marked D0 through D15 and ground on the ends of them. So yeah, nicely marked and all that kind of stuff. So there's your logic stuff, and here is the bag to put all these probes and everything in. So there's a little bag, and yeah, it's too bad the bag's not a little bit bigger in a padded section for the scope too, right? So it'd be a nice travel bag. But anyway, there's your 4 channels nicely marked. There's your little ground terminal, and here's the logic input, D0 through D15, and the 4 ground ones are marked as well, so you can see the marking on the pins here. Plus minus 20 volt peak max. Here's our USB input for our power if we want to run it that way, or we can run it through the 5 volt DC input here. And here's our generator output. Then over here to the side, I put our power connector. There's the one that came on there, and you just hold this button down, and then these pop off, and you get these 4 different styles. Okay, so depending on what country you're in, that big old behemoth, and for the US I just use this guy. Alright, and so then this little clip goes up at the top, latches in, and then that catches the bottom. So it's in there solid. So there's that power connection, and that's the instruction guide that came with the power. So there we go, there's all the pieces. And let me just show you this guide. Kind of shows the input. Sorry about the glare, but yeah, it just shows your display. That's a pretty nice little guide here. Nice little heavy paper with kind of a plastic coating or shiny coating. And then same type of, well, this is a little bit thicker, but yeah, that's just a quick start. You probably won't look at this more than just once. There's a safety section, which is always kind of good to, you know, glean over. The warning section about what to do, what not to do to blow up your scope or yourself. So there we go, color, all that kind of stuff. So there we go. Then we go into other languages. Alright, let's just do a quick overview here at picotech.com. This is the home page here, and they just kind of scrolls through here. Let me just scroll a little quicker through some of their products. You can just see them. The series, there's 9400. Alright, I guess they're just talking about new cool stuff, but let's go look at the 5000. So when I go to products, you can see all the different products here. Now what we have is the 5000 series. Let's just jump into that. Alright, so here we go. There's the 5000 series. Now you see the tabs up here. You got all these cool things, documents you can download and so on, which I'll take you through that. Right now I just want to show you the price range. 60 meg, 2-channel, 1245. Okay, there's the model number. And look at this deep memory. That is crazy amount of deep memory, 128 mega samples. Okay, so now if you add an MSO, so see this port right here just added, I'll turn it off, and you get the 2 generators right there. But if you turn it on, and if you turn this on, you get 1 generator back. So here, I guess I can rotate this around, right? See, you get the 1 generator right here in the left corner. So it looks to me like if you get the MSO, you give up one of the generator output ports. Now it adds $300, so I take that off. See, so it adds $300 any one of these. So let's just go up to the 100 meg and the 200 meg, and see how the memory jumped up to 512 megasamples. Now let's go to 4-channel. So you see the 4 channels out of there. You still get the 2 generators. Now we're up to 2965. So let's go top end, 3275. Okay, and that gives you the MSO features. So you get the mixed signal. So you get digital signals as well. Let's just scroll down real quick. What is FlexRes? Instead of just getting 8-bit resolution with 1 gig samples, like most scopes that are under, I don't know, let's just say $5,000, that's what you're going to get. You can go up to 16 bits. You just lose some of your digital resolution, the horizontal mode, so you get lower bandwidth. So see, instead of getting a choppy thing like this, you get this nice little wave right here. And that's a zoomed in representation. You can see where it's zoomed in here at the top of the wave, and you can really clean that up by going to 16-bit mode instead of 8-bit mode. So super cool. One of the big, huge advantages of this 5000 series, or the 4000 for that matter. Deep capture. Again, we're talking about that deep memory. Okay, so you can capture the lower frequency of these cyclic waveforms, like say if this is a video waveform, but it also has some high frequency content. You can zoom in on that and see what that looks like, because you can get all that resolution with that deep memory. Here's your mix mode, so you get your digital stuff down here at the bottom and also analog stuff on top, so you can see both on the same. Here you go, here's a nice picture of it. You get your digital waveforms down here at the bottom, D0 through D7, so you got 8 channels of digital waveforms, clocking circuits here, and whatever. And up here you get your sine wave, your analog signals. Of course, you get your 14-bit, 200 megasamples per second arbitrary waveform generator. Pretty cool. So there's a sine of x over x. Here's some of the signals that it shows you can get. And you can also do, as if you're a developer and you like to write your own code, someone's actually done an FRA, like a frequency response analysis, so you can get your Bode plots. And I'll have to download that and learn how to use that add-on tool. All right, guys, let's just go through this data sheet. It's going to cover some of the things we've already seen, so I'm just going to kind of scroll through. Here's that 8-bit 16 res. You can see how you zoom in on this part of the waveform. You get that advanced display, really nice. Multiple displays, just super cool. The high bandwidth, high sampling rate, and deep memory. This is all, gives you the ability to capture signals and zoom in. Your mixed signal, and also here's a persistence we didn't really see before. So you see that? That's pretty cool, how you get nice colors, nice persistence. And your arbitrary wave generator, 14-bit, 200 megasamples. More of your digital stuff. This is your serial decoding. Okay, so this is more your digital things. Your 20 protocols, it says, including I2C, SPI, CAN, RS-232, Ethernet. I mean, just a bunch of them, but you can see what it might look like on the screen. And then, of course, the spectrum analyzer, which is so cool, which also includes these measurements: THD, THD plus noise, signal to noise ratio, SNR, SINAD, and IMD. So that's intermodulation distortion. So a lot of power in the spectrum analyzer function. And then, of course, the trigger functions. I'll show you some of this stuff, but yeah, it just makes it really neat. Mask limiting, so you can set these masks. I played around with that a little bit. It's really easy to do. So basically the idea is once you capture a waveform, it puts a shape around it. So anything that falls out of that shape, it'll trigger on. So if you get some abnormal wave, something that's different than what you captured here, it masks out that, and anything goes in that blue, it'll trigger. And then the Pico 6 software, which Pico 7 software is being worked on right now, and you can download an early copy of that if you like. Now, signal integrity, that's a big thing. This input right here, you see the metal cans to keep the noise out. I think they've done an excellent job at doing that, and keeps the noise down on your input signals. Over here on the left, they talk about the FlexRes and how they get the 8-bit down to 16 bits. And you can see how they go from a timed interval from a series event to a parallel event, where you get all these clocks, all these ADCs working in parallel. And then just some of the contents you can get. The kit contains, here's your cables for your MSO, for your digital operations. There's all the different clips you can get with that. And here's the different configurations, what they might look like. 2-channel versus 4, MSO versus non-MSO. So yeah, you can see, like up here you see the 2 channels right here, the ARB channels on the right, the top 2. But once you go to the MSO, you get it on the back side. You get 1 channel back here, and the front gets that port where you can hook up, this connector right here. You connect this signal right here, and then it gives you all these little pins that you can connect up to different digital signals, making your scope basically or essentially a logic analyzer. Now, this is just a quick capture, so I'm going to just show you this because I think it's pretty cool how they've captured all this, the menus. There's just so much going on, but it's so clean and easy to read. It's pretty intuitive. And there's the logic, the MSO portion. Okay, now as you see the different models up here on the top, 2-channel to 4-channel, you notice the only really thing that's different is the bandwidth. Okay, and that section right there, right? But scrolling down, the part that I think is so interesting is this horizontal bit, you know, where you can get your sampling rate at 8-bit mode, 12-bit, or all the way up to 16 bits. And even at 16 bits, you still get some really deep memory. Now, the sampling rate, when we start off to say 1 gigasamples, you see this equivalent time series. This is great when you have repeating waveforms where you can get a lot higher sampling rate. And you know, I mean, look at this, 10 gigasamples per second. So you do have that ability too, which also, as part of that, see this fastest time base, instead of being limited to real-time sampling, look at this, you can go up to 100 picoseconds per division. That's just nuts. And then the waveform buffer is very large too. So yeah, the specs in here are very impressive. Again, going to the buffer and the size, this is with the number of segments. You can kind of read it on your own. I'll just kind of breeze through the rest of this so you can kind of take a look at it. Then the thing that's neat is, other than the, like say the bandwidth I point out, is all these models have I mean, there's some, you know, there's sections that have some variance depending on which model, but for the most part, they all have the same specs. They all run on the same software that's being continuously updated, which is super cool. Here we go, just general specs down here. PC requirements, okay? Processor, memory, disk space, you know, ports. Now, I run mine on a Mac using Parallels program, so I can run PC-based stuff. It runs no problem at all. And again, just break down of the models and the ordering information, okay? All right, guys, let's start Pico 6. Now, it'll look for what's connected, give me some options, because maybe I have 2 scopes connected. Oh, it just came right up. Well, that's interesting. You know, here's our window here. We got the running waveform or stop down here. We got our channels up here, and they're all off except for channel A, because that's the only one I have a signal. And I got the ×1 probe plugged into the generator, so it's going straight in. So here's all the different setups you can do with this window. And it's auto adjusting the vertical scale, so we're just letting that do that for now. All right, and then if we come scrolling across here, we have our digital stuff, but you know, let's go to our generator first, signal generator. Let's set that up. Okay, let's just turn it on. There we go. Now, like I said, set up. Okay, so it's set up for square. And here's all the different waveforms you have. Let's try an arbitrary. Now the arbitrary is pretty cool because there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Let's see how many. Oh, look at that. You got 32,000 samples. I can draw a waveform. Wow. See that? That's pretty cool. Hey, let's just try that for fun. Okay, let's turn on. Okay, look, you can sweep it too if you want. And you got to set the frequencies, but you can see what it's doing right now. It's sweeping. So I'll just turn this off. I just want to show you some of the things. Don't want to spend too much time. Just want to go through this kind of quick. Let's do the auto setup right there. See what it shows us. Wow. Okay, let's help it out a little bit. That's that funky waveform I drew. Oh, you know what? Let's turn on the triggers. Right now the trigger's not. Let's go to auto. Okay, it's triggering right there in the middle. Let's bring it up. Yeah, that's doing much better. I love how you can grab the trigger and just move it where you want it. So yeah, there's that funny waveform I drew. You know what? Just for fun, while we're here, let's come up here and look at the, well, there's the histogram. Wonder what that's going to do. Now, if I moved the trigger, it wasn't locked in, it'd probably do some funky stuff. Yeah, look at that. Okay, that's the histogram. Let's bring it back up here. Let's go to spectrum. See what the spectrum is of that thing I drew. All right, how do we change that? I think I go to this window here. And we don't have a whole lot of points, but yeah, we got enough, I guess. Okay, so now, once I click on that, this is showing 16 meg. So I can say, well, I don't think my frequency is that high, so let's zoom in. There's 500K, 100K. Yeah, I didn't have that higher frequency. It's getting kind of interesting looking. It has to take a few samples. The noise floor is very low on these things. Now, just for heck of it, let's go and increase our bits, because that's the beauty of this scope. It's got to do a little more math. It takes a little more time to settle in, but you can see the resolution. Let's go 14 bits. It takes so. You know what? I'm just curious if we go. Let's collect a few more cycles. So the vertical resolution, see the noise floor, it's way down here at 90 dB. That's just nuts. I can even go a little higher, 16 bits. It's going to push that noise floor way down. It's going to give us, should give us really good resolution on the amplitudes here. All right, so I just wanted to kind of show you that. Now let's go back to this mode and let's go look at the digital stuff. Now here's the digital things. You can, I think you can name each one of these. Yeah, there you go. You can click on it here and you can modify it the way you like. Okay, it says TTL. Wow, look at all these CMOS, ECL. It's got all these different logic levels. You know, I have not played with this, so this is something that you have to play. Okay, yeah, so I'm changing these things, and then you can come in here and change the name of that to some signal name. Okay, I'm going to cancel out of there. Okay, so that's what you got across the bottom is all your inputs and your output, your generator output. Then up here, we have things like resolution. We can increase our samples up here. So you can see this down here. I can zoom in on a portion of the waveform, like let's say that right there. I see how it's looking digitized. I'm zoomed in, and so what I can do is I can go to 12 bits, get a little bit better vertical resolution, or maybe even 14 bits. Let's goes 16 bits. So pretty cool stuff. I just wanted to kind of get you around and show you this. You got your measurements down here. So that's channel A. That's the only channel I have on. Otherwise, other channels would pop up. Here's the different measurements you can take. Here's your true RMS right here. And that's for the whole trace, or you can choose between cursors, or so there's some options there. Pretty cool. Down here's the measurement we just chose, so we can add more measurements if we want. You got your rulers. Let me get out of these two modes for a second and zoom back out. I could come up here and grab right here, and there's a ruler there, and I can come grab this one, move that if I want to see the voltage there. So here's voltage cursor 1, cursor 2, the difference, the delta between the two. And the same thing with vertical. You come over here and you grab this. This one actually is like kind of an interesting phase thing. See if we can see how the phase changes or something. And then over here, we can grab the vertical cursors. So lots of different options on this scope. It's fairly intuitive, but yet there's so much that, you know, you could spend a little time. So I'll just click on each one of these bars up here so you can kind of just see what's underneath them. You got your different views. You can always add views. You know, we can add a spectrum view if we want to. And you can add a bunch of views, so you've got a lot of flexibility. Your measurements, column auto width is checked off here. Here's your tools. You've got custom probes, math channels. Here, let's just look at the math channels. You can create some math, A plus B, or you can do any of these things. You can. So, yeah, just wanted to show you all this. Check for updates. I haven't done that yet. Okay, it looks like I have the latest software. That's pretty awesome. Now, in a couple weeks, there'll probably be an update. All right, guys, hope that was just interesting, just in a quick intro. All right, guys, so that was just a quick overview of the scope, but it looks really impressive, doesn't it? And very powerful. So, can't wait to do more with it. All right, guys, so what do you guys think of this? I think it's a really cool scope, and 2 big thumbs up to Pico for sending it out. I think that's just super awesome. They sent this out to me. My little small channel. Got a couple PicoScopes now. Yeah, I'm becoming a big fan of these scopes, especially if you're traveling, which I've had to do with scopes before, and that's never convenient, but these things would fit in your suitcase easy, and I'm always taking my laptop anyway, so man, what a cool way to have a portable scope. But alright, guys, hey, I'm going to get more familiar with this scope and learn how to use some of the other functions. So let me know what you guys would like to see, and I want to give 2 thumbs up also to the patrons that support the channel, and for all you guys watching the videos, I appreciate it, and we'll see more of this scope. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.